The Woman in Black is directed by James Watkins, who hasn't done a whole lot before this. I think he did Eden Lake was the only other thing he did.
I never heard of that.
And it stars Daniel Radcliffe as Arthur Kipps. It takes place in 19th century London, so this is full-on Gothic horror. And pretty much he is a realtor who works for a realty firm, who his wife recently died giving childbirth, and he sent a few years later to check out this old house on a dreary marsh somewhere in England, and he's supposed to kind of finance the house, or basically see what it's worth. While he's there in this small town, there's a bunch of weird stuff that starts happening. All these kids are committing suicide for basically no reason. There's no discernible reason anyway. And there's all these weird sightings of a woman in black that hangs out around this house. And she's something of an omen to all these deaths that occur in this town. So this, like I said, is pretty much Gothic Horror 101. You've probably seen this movie 100 times. In a way, it reminded me a lot of kind of a 18th or 19th century English version of The Ring, really. It kind of had a lot of similarities there, as well as any kind of haunted house movie you've seen, like The Haunting or House on Haunted Hill. You know, I mean, the list goes on as far as that goes, and it doesn't bring anything new to the table, but it kind of does what it's trying to do pretty well. I think the production design is pretty nice. The costumes and all of that stuff, all the stuff, the period piece stuff, looks good. Daniel Radcliffe does a pretty good job. You almost forget he was Harry Potter. Although at times you're wondering, you know, when is he just going to pull out his wand and make these ghosts go away?
Expected Patronum, and bam, no more Woman in Black.
Ghosts would be gone. But you know, for the it is what it is, and there is no surprises. But I think, you know, for a PG-13 horror film, there is some pretty good jumps in there. It builds suspense pretty well, and it's a pretty efficient little thriller. Nothing much more, but fairly nice. So I give it I have C+ written here, but I think just now after saying that, I'll give it a B-.
B-, nice.
I mean, it got me. I jumped a few times.
Nice. No, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I gave it a B.
Okay.
I watched this at like 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday while my kid ate breakfast in his high chair next to me, and it still scared me. I think this was a really well done horror movie. When it scares you that early in the morning, I found myself, you know, I was kind of one of those modes of I procrastinated, so I'm trying to crank through these movies.
Yeah.
And every once in a while when you do that, you have to like fast forward through boring parts. Didn't fast forward this one at all. I was like, wow, I actually got kind of invested in it and started watching it, and it's like, this was pretty good. Daniel Radcliffe, he may be Harry Potter, but I can see, you know, it may still take a long while, like 4 or 5 movies later.
Before we stop seeing
him. But this is a good step.
Well, it was interesting to see him as a father. Yeah. That was a new kind of added element to his kind of acting.
Yeah,
so.
Aged him and stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Everything was there. You know, something's on the window, bam, reflection scream.
Yeah.
Almost every jump, they still happen just because, you know. But they're still mostly predictable. There was nothing exciting about it. It's just,
They're empty scares, I think. I think there are plenty of them, and the suspense is built tight enough to where they're effective. But when the movie's over, you know, you're not going to have trouble sleeping. Unless, you know, you're probably 13 or under.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And you are going to not stare at anything black.
Yeah.
B, it was a good horror movie. Definitely rent it, check it out, but nothing memorable.